Ladies, gentlemen, and tarnished of all ages, you want weapons, and I know where they are. So I propose a simple transaction. You watch the video. Simple as that. Me? I'll do the rest. Well, except for, physically going out and getting it for you. You do have to do that part. I'll just tell you where to go and what you get for doing it. Pretty much every entry in today's collection, then, is in the Scadutree region, so I will be assuming that you are in that area, and I'll first show you the weapon and anything that makes it special, then I'll show you where it is on the map and how to get it in any more detail that may be required. Without further ado then, our first weapon today is the Black Steel Twinblade. This is an exceptionally cool looking new weapon, scaling with dexterity and faith. It has physical and holy damage by default, but it is able to be infused with Ashes of War, where it has a matching effect to the Black Steel Greathammer. It keeps the holy damage on the weapon, even if you infuse it with a different damage type, a third damage type, and if you put holy damage on it, then it stacks on top of the default holy damage of the weapon as well, making it even stronger at that specific purpose. As well as that, it has a special moveset. Specifically, the heavy attacks match the Godskin Peeler weapon, which is honestly just the best Twinblade moveset in the game, really. Especially the sprint heavy attack on this is just sort of a blinding tornado of hits, and the regular heavies as well are quite good too. To get this one for yourself then, you need to kill a specific Twinblade wielding Black Knight enemy located right here up on a hill in Scadutree. You get here by riding north from the first race of the area until you hit the big camp of soldiers in front of the Shadow Keep, and then in the northwest side of the camp there is a path for you to head up and round up to the top of the hill where the knight is just sort of sitting around in front of some tents to be killed and, looted. Second up then is the smithscript cirque. This is one of the new backhand blade type weapons, which is a really fun moveset in general. They are visually very cool. They scale near equally with strength and dexterity as a default, but can be infused with an Ash of War of your choice, and the unique part of this is, like the other smithscript weapons, this is thrown on heavy attack, but it is a paired weapon, and unlike most of these smithscript weapons, you can throw on the jump heavy as well, which can only otherwise be done by the axe. So you can even do a ranged jump attack build with this, and that does even more because they're paired weapons, so you can get multi-hit bonuses going from a distance on jump attacks. They're just really funky, very cool, and definitely have the potential to be built around properly if you want to. As for how to get this one yourself then, this is found inside one of the new Ruined Forge dungeons, specifically inside of the Ruined Forge of Starfall Past, which is just a short walk away from the Morth Rune Site of Grace. Once you're inside of here, I'll just let the path play out, but this is in the more obvious path that you get to by using both of the levers in the dungeon and then going into the room that they open up access to. Third today then we have the repeating crossbow. This is nearly as cool as ranged weapons get really in the grand scope of things in the game. It functions as a normal crossbow for the most part, except if you use the weapon skill button, you will enter a sort of ready stance. Then you can hold down either of your attack buttons to fire your different bolt slots in fast bursts. This does use one ammo for every shot that it fires, so it eats through your ammunition like all hell, so you can't use this overly well with statuses or such in longer fights because they just have low bolt caps, but definitely does have some interesting use possibility as an offhand, really. To grab this one for yourself then, it is on a corpse in the field in the Shadow region, located right here. When heading here from the northern side, you'll come across a ghost flame dragon fighting a bunch of soldiers on the main path, and it is simply on a corpse that is behind that fight over on the northwest side of this little archway tunnel thing that goes under the cliff. For that then we have the Fire Knight's greatsword, which is actually a colossal sword, scaling with strength, dexterity, and faith by default, and dealing physical and fire damage, but it is infusible with Ashes of War to change that stuff up as you please. The special part of this weapon, aside from just looking pretty sick, honestly, is its unique combination of a moveset. The thing has light attacks from the Godslayer Greatsword, which simply come out at a fast enough timing that you can sort of stun lock a lot of enemies with it due to the poise damage of a colossal sword and just the speed of the swings themselves. But then it also has the heavy attack from the Zweihander, the thrusting stab, which is fantastic for just a nice long-range poke attack that can hit enemies from surprisingly far away for a melee weapon. Both of these then are considered some of the best movesets for a colossal sword for those exact reasons, and this weapon simply puts both of them together and lets you choose your own Ash of War to put on the weapon on top of that too. To actually get it then, you need to farm the Fire Knight enemies that specifically use this sword, as it is a random chance drop from them. The easiest one to actually do that with then is in the Shadow Keep. From the Storehouse first floor Site of Grace, just head back down the elevator and you'll be immediately behind a Fire Knight that you can even backstab if you go up too slowly. Make sure though that you send the elevator back up on your way out of the tower so that you can easily just teleport to the Grace after killing the Knight, and then do a fully repeatable loop very simply until you have the sword drop. Fifth up then we have Rabbath's Cannon, and earlier I said that the repeating crossbow is nearly as cool as ranged weapons get, and that's because this is the absolute peak of ranged weapon badassery. It's essentially like the jar cannon from the base game, which I already loved. It fires out great bolts at long range with explosive power, but unlike that weapon, this one can fire homing bolts that literally track your enemy and guide the projectiles towards them. It's hard to show in real time because the bolts just fire so fast, they have insane projectile speed, but here on this specific shot you can see me firing one at an enemy that is behind me, so it curves the whole way over my head to try and get to the enemy. So it's honestly really neat, it's pretty reliable. As well, there is a specific ammo that is designed for this weapon, new in the DLC 2, that fires exploding magic damage great bolts, so we'll talk about how to get both of these things. As far as locations then, the cannon is located in Rabbath's Rise, this magic tower out in the northeast side of the Shadow region. You get to this part of the area from the Murth Ruins by heading along my path here until you find this hole right here leading into what appears to just be a cave, but is actually a sort of tunnel that leads all the way through to the bottom of a ladder. Then if you climb up the ladder, you'll be in the Bonnie Village beside the Site of Grace just at the bottom of the cliff, and you can then follow from there across the wooden bridges to the east and then up the path north, and then you'll find Rabbath's Rise right here on your map. As for how to actually get to where the item is once you're at the tower, there is an illusion wall. Once in the front entrance of the tower, simply follow along the path to the second chamber of the tower. Then you want to hit this back wall right here, which will make it disappear to reveal some rocks. If you hit the rocks, they will open up a spirit spring back outside by the front entrance of the tower, and then you can use the spirit spring to jump up to a set of external stairs at the near top of the tower. Follow these stairs up to the very tip, and you'll find the chest that has this weapon inside of it. As for the ammo then, this is unlocked a fair bit in a later area of the DLC, but it is technically in the same place, and you get here from the Shaman Village in the northeast side of the map. We have a guide to how to get here as part of our sorcery questline video on the channel if you haven't been here yet yourself, but in the Shaman Village there is a cliff line to the southeast side that you can just slowly descend very carefully, using this to reach a secret hidden top room in Rabbath's Rise. Inside of this you can find the bell bearing, bring it back to the round table hold, and then you can infinitely buy the magic damage exploding great bolt to match this lovely cannon. Just for the sake of it, I'll let the whole path play out until the end here, just so you don't get any confusion. Next then today is the smithscript greathammer, one of the most anticipated weapons of the DLC from people seeing it in previews. This thing scales with strength mainly, but a little bit of everything else, but arcane obviously, and it is infusible with Ashes of War as well, so you can turn it into whatever you would like, really. But it has a unique strong attack on it, specifically the dash heavy and the regular heavy combo both throw the weapon forwards a significant distance after spinning it up to wind it up, which is a really cool animation. The dash heavy I find particularly useful personally. It really comes out quite quickly for a greathammer heavy attack worth of damage and stagger that you can use at range, and being able to launch charged heavy attacks from a stationary position is pretty solid too in its own right. As far as getting this one for yourself, then you need to get to the Telu's Ruined Forge dungeon, and this is the path from the Ancient Ruins base Site of Grace. I've shown how to get here in about 5 recent videos, so I won't show that full path again, but from this grace it is a very easy and simple path north to get to the Ruined Forge. Then inside of the Ruined Forge, here is going to be the path for the weapon itself. Seventh then, and finally, we have the Death Knight's longhaft axe, which scales mainly with strength and dexterity, and this thing is just a beautiful weapon. It has the special variant heavy attack moveset from the Crescent Moon Great Axe, compared to the normal combo of great axes, and the weapon skill itself is unique, being a blink bolt, matching the other Death Knight weapon and the Ash of War, but this one has a unique strong attack follow-up that leaps up into the air and slams down with a large attack that also has multiple instances of lightning damage strike the ground where it hits. Sadly, this strong attack follow-up still counts as part of the weapon skill, so you can't use things like the two-handed talisman or the jump attack talisman, but it is still pretty solid in its own right, and it's a super cool weapon regardless. To get this one for yourself, then you need to go to the Scorpion River Catacombs to get there from the Ancient Ruins base Site of Grace from the last entry. It is a relatively long, but extremely simple run on horseback, just through some open fields with some enemies the whole way to get to this location. Just follow the route that I've laid out on your map right here. There's not really any need to show it in detail, there's no real way to get confused about it. However, the catacombs themselves can be a bit of a maze, so I will show you the route to the boss door inside, which upon defeat will give you this axe as well as the bonus talisman for your troubles. that just about does it for today then, everyone. 7 extremely cool and highly functional weapons that you can find in the DLC. And I hope I've helped you find something interesting enough that you're considering going out of your way to go and grab it as we speak. Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.